Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today with the Job Help Hotline with Greater Westtown Training Partnership. My name is Danjuma. I'm one of your hosts today. I'm also an instructor at Greater Westtown. And here today with me, we also have Mr.
Charlie Negron.
Yeah. And we're going to talk to you today about our woodworking training program. If you are someone who is maybe looking for a new career, maybe you like to work with your hands. Maybe you know someone who likes to work with their hands or someone who's detail-oriented. Then we may have a solution or an option for you. Currently, we are an organization that provides woodworking training for adults in woodworking, shop safety, things like that. It's a 15-week program. And I'm going to let Charlie talk a little bit about what we have coming up.
Oh, okay. Sure. So thanks for having me on. It's nice being with you. So what we have coming up is a brand new class that's going to be starting July 21st. So we got about a week, a little less than a week before we go ahead and get started.
Okay.
We are taking applications for those who are interested out there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of rundown of our training program.
Okay.
And then give them operations, give them some info, and then give them our number so that way they could call if they're interested in applying. They'll go ahead and do that. So,
yeah.
So our training program for Greater Westtown has been in service for about 30 years. Started in 1992 at a different location. About 10 years ago, we moved to our new location at 500 North Sacramento Boulevard. One of the things about that whole transition was the students from our woodworking class were really instrumental in building a lot of the furniture and desk assemblies and computer workstations.
Oh, wow.
That our current students are working out in the new building. So they were able to utilize all those skills and training, make those things, and that was a great help as we were transitioning into the new building. We got a new kind of kitchen dinette thing going on in our lunchroom / utility area and stuff. So the students were able to kind of do that. So I would describe our work facility now as, Let me just rewind a little bit. Back at our old location, our training facility was housed in a warehouse, and we had 2 different floors.
Okay.
So we would have, our typical wood shop was on the 2nd floor, right? And then our advanced woodworking shop was actually in the lower level. So our students would have to go up and down and stuff, to access whatever machines that we were working on and stuff. So back then it was mainly just in the old shop that our students were training and learning. Once we got our first CNC machine, then we were able to go ahead and start implementing that into our training program. So fast forward to 2025 and stuff, we have everything right now under one roof, one floor. And our shop right now is typical of a hybrid shop. So in our shop, we have a whole bunch of equipment that you will find old school, table saws, routers, band saws, some other joiners, planers. And then we have our CNC equipment that's kind of set up in towards the back of the shop and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're teaching our students how to work with CNC machines, do a little bit of programming.
And do any of the students have previous experience with this?
Some students might come in with that just slightly and stuff, but our job is to kind of get them ready for that job sector later on. So the idea with our training program is that we have a couple of projects that we work on, right? So the projects that we work on is basically geared towards giving them those skill sets needed for the job sector later on. So the things they're learning with that first project is that they might see a shop drawing and not know what world that they're looking at, right? Mm-hmm. So our job is to kind of have them look at that shop drawing and kind of look at the different pictures on that shop drawing to get dimensions, measurements, give the students an idea of kind of what they're looking at.
Okay.
So as they're doing that, what they're doing is kind of building up their measurement scores, a little bit of math. They're kind of implementing that because we give them the actual object, and what they're going to do is reverse engineer that object. So they're kind of measuring this with just kind of a questionnaire sheet. Okay. And the sheet's just asking them questions, what's dimension is long, and, it gets a little involved. But the students find that that's a great way to go ahead and just think about what they're learning for that first project. So on that first project, as they're doing this, as we start going through the weeks, we start breaking down the different assemblies or components for that first project, and we're introducing our equipment to the students, right? Wow. So it's their first taste of equipment use, right? So they might use something as simple as a miter saw or chop saw, right? And they're making small little cuts, but again, they're getting used to kind of making sure things are cut to size, right? Kind of getting used to the feel of a machine, because some people may not have ever used a machine, and now you have this blade that's kind of whirring and stuff, and it's cutting and it's making this noise and all that. So it's kind of exciting because they're looking at a small project or a small piece that they're making, but they know it's part of this bigger kind of object that they're going to be putting together later on and stuff.
Wow, that sounds really fun. So I don't know, for those of you who are watching and listening, you heard it from Charlie. You're learning machines, you're learning how to kind of reverse engineer objects based off of drawings. And if you're a creative person and likes to work with your hands, you may want to consider during our training. I think we have some images, some slides we'd like to bring up. If we can maybe take a look at those. And so one of the things, the training is, it's for adults, 18 and up. We've also established the fact that you don't have to have any previous experience. You get hands-on training. You work with various power tools, hand tools. Up there on the screen, you can see our curriculum. You learn wood technology, which is learning about wood species and maybe how to identify a particular piece of wood. Career development, blueprint reading, you mentioned that, and industry-related math. So what's the math like?
So math is just like the basic fractions, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and we're not talking about astrophysics or anything like that. So some people might think, oh my gosh, there's math involved. We have really great instructors and stuff that teach our students how to just get a lot of the basics under their belt. Okay. So I kind of mentioned that first project, right? Yeah. So that is their first introduction to looking at a tape measure, reading a tape measure. So, they're kind of using those skills initially. And then, again, we bring in the students with understanding that nobody may know anything about what we're doing. And then we start off with a base level for all the students, and then we start building on that skill set throughout the duration of the training program.
Wow. Yep. And we may have some more images. If Imani can pull up that same slideshow again. And that's a picture of our shop. So we get lots of natural light. You can see the industrial machines. And then in the next image, there's...
Yeah, that's the first project that we work on, right? So for the viewer out there, right, they're looking at, maybe 5 different pictures. And this is pretty typical of a shop drawing that you might see. And then right in the middle, there's a column right there with some notes, right? So the main thing is when you're looking at that is that you have this other form of language, right? It's kind of this visual thing where you're looking at these pictures and kind of figuring out what those pictures mean. So I'll just give you if you could bring back that slide real quick. So that top left picture is a top view of that object. And right underneath that is the front view of that object. So if you notice, right, the top view is going to give you a certain look on how that object looks. So if you could imagine yourself kind of taped to a ceiling, you're looking down on top of the object, right? That's the view that you might see of that square object to the top right corner.
Okay.
And then if you're looking at the front side view of that same object, you're going to go get a whole different look what that object is. But those two different views give you a lot of different information, right? So, and then we'll go on and progress from there, right?
Can we have the next slide, please? So, cool. So yeah, and we could just take a look through some of these other ones. These are people in the shop learning what they're doing and learning how to select some lumber there. There's you.
Yeah, there's me in the shop. I'm showing the students how to use a device called a router table. That table is basically, there's a router underneath. The best way I could explain it is that there is a sort of like an upside down drill with this bit that might have a profile on it, and that bit basically cuts. So there's a couple ways how we can use that machine to put different profiles on different parts. So it's cutting a small little profile on the edge of that table leg that you might not be able to see it that well in that screen unless you have a 55-inch or 65-inch television.
What's next? Social media. You can find us on Instagram, GWTP Wood, also on Facebook. Let's see. I think there's another one. Some students putting together some work there. So one of the things we recently got, I think, was a spray booth, right?
Yeah, so in our training program, we've been trying to implement spraying techniques for a finished product. Whenever we're finished with the main cabinet, we like to put a finish on there and stuff. And that spray booth has been in the works for years. I would say it's been up working now for the last year. And our students have been getting really great practice with using that spray booth. So, and here you're kind of seeing typical instructions given by the instructors, and then you have the students just kind of watching or just kind of getting their first time use on some of the machines over there. Here you got a picture of all of the tools that the students are using. It's pretty typical of a shop. The good thing is that the students don't have to go out and buy any tools, right? And here's a picture of our spray booth, right? So, yeah, this has been up. This has been running for about a year, and our last 3 cohorts or training cycles have been using this to finish their cabinet when they're done and stuff, and it's been a game changer for our training program.
So what we have here is very professional equipment. You have the tools. You have the projects. What do they do with those projects?
Well, when they're done with the project, they get to take them home. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They get to take them home and, give them to their loved ones. Or we had a former student come in a while ago, and she said she actually put one of her main projects on Facebook Market or something like that. I'm not too sure about that. And then she sold it.
She sold it.
Yeah, she sold it.
Wow.
So she put a price on there, and they paid her a good price for that piece that she worked on and stuff. So they can be something that you can keep at home or give to a loved one or something. So
what are some of the requirements other than being an adult, 18 and up? No previous experiences needed.
No.
Do you need your high school or GED?
We would like them to have some type of, education. If they have their high school diploma, that's great.
Okay.
but we'll do a testing to see how they test. We want at least about a 6th grade level in math because of that math component and stuff. And then from there, we could go ahead and build up those other skill levels that's needed. So it's, a person has to be at least 18, test at a 6th grade reading, 6th grade level of math and reading.
Math and reading, okay.
Right,
Okay.
for both of those. And again, we're not talking about anything, like, calculus or anything like that. We're doing just, basic kinds of math, a little bit of algebra here and there.
Okay.
But they'll find it is real easy because the way we kind of bring that about and stuff.
What about fractions? Do you have to know how
we
to
do fractions, right?
Okay.
Yeah, tape measure is basically built on fractions.
Okay.
Especially the English
Inches,
version, right?
inches,
So,
okay.
and the students learn really well from one of their prized instructors. Actually, that's
That's
me.
guy here.
I'll teach them how to use a ruler or a tape measure.
Okay.
So we'll do that and stuff. We'll have some fun exercises as we're teaching them. The other qualification is that they have to be low income. So the clientele that we serve is an underserved community.
Okay.
So a person could be on public aid or unemployment compensation, or let's say there's a family of 5 and under a certain income bracket. That would qualify them. We would ask them how they're supporting themselves and see if they qualify for that funding.
Okay.
Because we want our trainees to come in without any kind of financial burdens at all. So we'll look for funding.
They're not paying for this training?
They won't pay for the training program as long as they qualify for those funding streams.
Okay.
So, our training dollars do come through, some government, some private entities out there and stuff would provide all of their training costs for them. And then we also help provide a stipend of either a gas card or a bus card at the end of the week for the students, so that way they can help with transportation.
Transportation to get there, okay.
And then the last requirement
Yeah.
is they have to be able to pass a drug screening. We do have a whole bunch of, heavy equipment and stuff, and we want to make sure that all of our students are focused, and safety is a big component of what we teach.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that everybody stays and leaves home with their 10 fingers.
All their fingers, yeah. That's good. Wow. What time is the training from? Like what time and usually what days of the week?
So we run Monday through Fridays from 8 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon. So we do not have any weekend or evening classes. I know there's probably some people out there like, oh man, I wish there was an evening class. But that's that's just the way it is for now and stuff. But yeah, so those are the training hours. And then we're starting in July 21st, and we'll probably be ending around late October, early November.
Okay.
Right, somewhere around there for this training.
Sounds good.
And then we'll start another cycle soon after that.
Wow. What are class sizes like?
So we have maybe 10 to 12 people who we would like to invite to the training program. So about 12, maybe 15 max. That would really be kind of overdoing it. One of the things that we want to try to do is make sure that there's not a lot of people kind of standing around waiting to get on machines.
Yeah.
If the classes are kind of large, then what we'll do is we'll break up those classes into 2 different groups in the shop setting, so that way one group will work on one assignment or task, and the other group will work on the other. And at some point in the morning, hours of training and stuff, they'll switch over and kind of work on the same thing, but they're getting their hands on equipment and tools and things of that nature a lot quicker.
So it sounds really exciting with the hands-on learning, not huge class sizes. You're getting experience and exposure to the machines. And that reminds me, earlier in the show, Charlie talked about a CNC machine. And I think we may have a video of the CNC machine just to kind of show you what that's like. So maybe we can pull that up and get a little bit of a look at that CNC machine video.
Yeah, so this our CNC that we have is a pretty standard piece of equipment that some shops that are more advanced would bring in. This is a virtual setting, so what's nice about our CNC, this is exactly what it looks like. This is a virtual machine, and what we could do with this is once we program the machine, right, what it will do is go ahead and simulate how it's going to do all of the functions that we're asking it to do. So it might drill, it might cut, it could do shapes, it can do almost anything you ask. The only thing it can't do is drill into the sides of those panels. So here you did have a drilling function, and then when that went to the side, it actually picked up a router tool, which is kind of a cutter, and it cut the piece to size, right? So showed it really quickly, but that's basically what it does. The machine doesn't operate at that speed, but it's very close to that speed that you saw on that visual right there.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So this is the actual part that the students will make. This is part of a cabinet that they might do. The way it's constructed might be a little bit different, but it's overall kind of same technique.
Wow.
So they're learning, again, a little bit of programming, how to use the machines, how to think sort of like the machine.
Okay.
Right? And when I'm saying that is, they have different accesses, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too involved with that now.
But
I have the students come in and stuff, and they'll learn as they go along.
Okay. So in case you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in.
Oh, our number, right?
Yeah.
So let's give them the number for our training program if you want to give us a call, right? And think about that next step is 312-563-9570. And you can go ahead and ask anybody there, and they'll go ahead and set you up for intake or orientation. The orientation, basically the information, something like what we're doing now. Take the students for a tour, give them an application, they'll start filling that out, and then we'll just continue the process from there.
And where are we located?
We're at 500 North Sacramento Boulevard. We're on the east side of Garfield Park area.
Okay.
Right? So we're on Franklin Boulevard, right, and Sacramento Boulevard.
Wow.
So right at the corner on the northwest corner, right, you'll find that big brown building. That's us parked right there.
And it sounds like it's easy or accessible via public transportation. You can catch the Green Line. I believe there's a Kedzie stop and a California stop.
Yeah.
You can walk up from either one of those or take the 94 California to get off. We are also based off
three blocks south of Chicago Avenue.
And Sacramento. Yeah. So I think maybe we got one more video we can show you of one of the participants at work, kind of looking at using one of the machines. Like I said, what we have, woodworking training, 15 weeks, Monday through Fridays. I think there is a bandsaw video maybe that we have. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that student there is cutting.
They're cutting on this one machine. And what's nice about this machine is it allows us to cut different types of curves or arcs or irregular shapes. If people are familiar with a portable jigsaw, it's a lot like a portable jigsaw, just to cut small pieces. So they get practice cutting out all of these parts and stuff. And you'll see all those benches are kind of filled with students just putting parts together in different construction methods. So, so to the viewers out there who are looking for information, you could also find us at www.gwtp.org. Right, and you can find us on Facebook. Look at us there, and I think Instagram
GWTP _ Wood.
Yep,
is the other one, and so 312-563-9570 is our phone number for those of you joining us. Give us a call. We have orientations like Charlie mentioned. We'd love to have you come in and show you the shop. And at that time, you can also apply. What days generally are we having
orientations are usually Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
It might be a little bit short this week. I think for people who are still interested, we could set up orientation mostly anytime this week.
Okay.
Before the class starts.
Okay.
So we are still trying to fill in some slots for people who are interested in our training program. So It's a lot to look forward to. Right now we have the people from our last class and stuff. We have people already placed on the job.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we have jobs. We have probably over 500 different woodworking companies in the Chicagoland area and stuff. So we're talking about some of the surrounding suburbs, some of the local companies, in the city and stuff, and museums.
Okay.
Other companies that make props for movies and sets and theater. That's another avenue and stuff that we have our students kind of working at and stuff. So, yeah.
So you heard it here. Greater Westtown Training Partnership, 312-563-9570. Our wood products manufacturing training program, 15 weeks. We have a class coming up July 21st. Give us a call. We love to hear you. Thank you. There's our contact info on the screen there. We'd like to thank CAN TV and Imani for helping us produce today's segment. Everyone have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.